The Resident Evil series is no stranger to online multiplayer. The first game to be built around this concept was Resident Evil Outbreak. Since then, with the advances in internet technology, most games in the franchise have incorporated some level of online play. Resident Evil 5 had co-op campaigns, mercenaries modes, and a first-of-its-kind Versus mode. Resident Evil 6 followed in its footsteps with various online modes centered around both cooperative play and PvP. Even side games such as Mercenaries 3D, Revelations, and Operation Raccoon City were built with online play in mind. The most recent PvP entries in the series were Resident Evil Resistance and Resident Evil Umbrella Corps. With all that in mind, allow me to pitch a new online Resident Evil experience to you as part of the series' 25th anniversary. A PvP-focused game that will feature multiple different competitive game modes, a selection of iconic maps from the series, a roster of iconic characters to play as. To spice things up, you'll also be able to play as many of the most iconic creatures of the series. There will be a customization and upgrade system for characters, along with cosmetics to personalise your gameplay. The game will have crossplay, allowing everyone to play together regardless of which version of the game they have. Sounds pretty cool, right? I bet you're imagining a very promising game featuring locations such as the Spencer Mansion, the Raccoon City streets, the Umbrella Labs, the village from RE4, Kijuju, and more. For characters, you can probably immediately imagine a roster of at least 20 characters from across the games, protagonists, antagonists, and everyone in between. The same undoubtedly goes for the creatures. I'm imagining playing as Nemesis, Verdugo, Crimson Heads, and more. So, with this unique concept, what did Capcom give us? 3 small maps, 11 characters, 5 of which are identical side characters who no one has ever bothered to remember the names of, extremely memorable creatures such as the Fat Mold, and 1 single, solitary, lonely game mode. It really does make you wonder, why did Reverse fail? The game servers were shut down on June 30th, leaving the game to rot and fossilise into an embarrassing memory for Capcom. So embarrassing, in fact, that they've even scrubbed its page from ResidentEvil.net. Fortunately, I kept a record of my stats. Much like the iconic zombies of this series, while not strictly dead, the game had been nothing more than a shuffling corpse for its entire existence. So, let's take a closer look at what killed this game so quickly. Assuming you're one of the fortunate souls who managed to avoid coming into contact with this game, allow me to give you a general summary of its characters and mechanics. And if you are familiar with the game, you can skip ahead to the timestamp on screen, which will also be available in the description. Reverse is a third-person PvP shooter featuring 11 playable characters and 6 playable creatures across 3 maps. The scoring system is simple. When playing as a survivor, you receive points for each kill that increase if you maintain a streak. The streak will only end if you die twice without getting revenge. Once as a survivor, then again as a creature. The points for kills increase until you reach a streak of 6. From there, the points no longer increase. As a survivor, the points for these first 6 kills are 20, 24, 28, 32, 36, and 40. You receive less points as a creature for the sake of balance. Bonus points are obtained through targeted kills, either by killing one of the top 3 scoring players, taking revenge on the player who killed you, or shutting down someone's streak by killing them for the second time. The shutdown or streak ending bonus will vary depending on how high the other player's streak was. Creatures also receive bonus points for finish kills, where a unique creature animation is performed to finish off the opponent. And you lose 5 points every time you die. The maximum score you can get for a single kill varies between humans and creatures, but on the assumption you manage to get 5 kills before your revenge kill, then the maximum possible would be, for a human, 78, and for a creature, 84. Each character has a fixed loadout of weaponry, usually consisting of a handgun sidearm and a main fully automatic weapon. However, there are exceptions, such as Leon's shotgun, Umber's sniper rifle, and Ada's crossbow. As stated previously, there's only 3 maps in the entire game. There's the Raccoon City Police Department for the remakes of Resident Evil 2 and 3 with its open lobby, tight corridors and small offices. The Baker House and Garden from Resident Evil 7 with 2 fairly open buildings and a large courtyard in the centre, and the Village from Resident Evil 8 with its long paths, multiple buildings and different elevations. Scattered throughout the maps during specific intervals, there are special weapons available to be used for quick kills or massive damage. These weapons all hail from the remakes of RE2 and RE3, being grenade launchers with either acid or explosive rounds, a rocket launcher, and the spark shot for stunning and damaging opponents. Also scattered throughout the map at different intervals are virus vials. Collecting these not only increase your accuracy and damage output, but they also determine which creature you turn into upon death. With no vials, you become a fat mold. With 1 vial, you can become either a Hunter Gamma, Jack Baker, or a Lycan. With 2 vials, you can become either Nemesis or the Super Tyrant. The Fat Mold, the weakest of the creatures, has a skill set involving slashes, an enraged mode for extra damage and movement speed, a short jump that can knock down players, and its trump card, a suicidal explosion. The damage output of this final explosion scales with how long you've been a mold for, so if you naturally have no health left when you detonate, then you're guaranteed to yamcha any players close to you. The Hunter Gamma, which looks like a raw chicken dinner that has escaped from the oven, is one of the fastest moving creatures in the game. Its attacks consist of tail swipes, headbutts, an acidic spit, and its coup de grace, a massive bite that acts as a special finish kill. In this game, the chicken eats you. The Lycan has arguably the fastest attacks of any creature in the game, swinging its club around like an angry tennis player to deal fast damage and knock the player down. Its speciality is its quick movement and dashes, allowing it to dodge attacks and close in on a player rapidly, making this creature very sticky, as it's hard to get away from. It has 2 finish kill variations, one for a downed opponent and another for a standing opponent. Jack Baker, the jolly giant with his striped shirt and scissor chainsaws, or chainsaw scissors. Chainsaws? The saws? What do you even call this weapon? Anyway, apart from running like he just shit himself, his attacks include quick swipes and swings of these massive blades along with a spinning attack that moves forward, providing him with some of the greatest reach of any creature in the game. As for his finish kill, he politely welcomes you to the family as your new daddy.
Stay still!
The Super Tyrant, in all its flaming glory, is one of the strongest creatures in the game and without a doubt the fastest when charging. His attacks include massive swipes with his flaming claws, a jumping ground pound attack, and his terrifying charge, which acts as his finish kill. With this move, he'll race towards you with frightening speed, and if you're on full health, he'll knock you down, but if you're already damaged, prepare to be penetrated, and not in a fun way. Last, but certainly not least, is the most famous Resident Evil creature, Nemesis. My favourite creature in this game, and one of my favourites across this entire franchise. Nemesis runs quickly and attacks with powerful and rapid punches, allowing him to stun lock most opponents for a while. If an opponent is too far away, that's not a problem, as Nemesis came prepared with his iconic rocket launcher. Nemesis wouldn't be complete without his tentacles, which he can use as a mid-range weapon with the same attack also acting as his finish kill, allowing him to grab you by the head and then put his foot down whether you're stars or not. Like most competitive shooters, the game features a ranking system where you earn different MMR based on your rank and overall performance. As a bonus, you can earn an in-game currency that can be used to buy skills and upgrades for the playable characters and creatures to make them stronger, along with alternate skins for weapons and characters. Speaking of characters, let's meet them. Since he's become the franchise mascot and is front and centre in the game's official artwork, we might as well start with good old Leon Kennedy. Leon is the only character in the game equipped with a shotgun, which is capable of dealing massive damage up close to survivors and creatures alike. Not only that, but it has a high stun chance, often interrupting attacks from opponents. His main skills are a powerful roundhouse kick to stun creatures and knock players back, along with the ability to rapid fire dual-wielded pistols for a brief time. His passive skill allows him to start automatically healing once he ends up in danger. If Leon is around, then Ada Wong is never far. Ada is also a unique character as she carries the only crossbow in the game, allowing her to deal massive damage up close or from afar with silent shots. Her main skills are an explosive arrow that can be used for stuns or crowd control. Her other skill is an evasive somersault kick for backing away from creatures or knocking down survivors. Her passive skill allows her to recover stamina and dodge regardless of her position when her health is low. Completing the RE2 trio is Claire Redfield. Claire's main weapon is a submachine gun allowing for rapid fire, but her best weapon is actually her revolver, as her passive skill grants the ability to reload it when dodging. This effectively gives her a high damage, infinite ammo weapon with a high fire rate. Her skills include an adrenaline shot that refills her stamina and recovers health, while also possessing an upgrade that grants temporary invulnerability. Her other skill is a modified alternator which shocks opponents for a brief period, opening up for an attack, or giving Claire the chance to gain some distance. Next up is the master of unlocking herself, Jill Valentine. Jill carries a standard loadout of an automatic rifle and her Samurai Edge handgun. Her skills allow her to lay landmines down across the map and use the Hot Dogger bonus weapon from RE3 Remake to deal quick close quarters damage. Her passive skill, borrowed from Resident Evil 3 Remake, grants her a damage boost immediately after dodging. Better have the extraction point ready because Hunk is on his way. Hunk carries his classic loadout of the automatic rifle and his handgun. His skills include active cloaking, allowing him to become quieter and translucent, allowing him to evade detection from creatures and become harder to spot during gameplay. His other skill is Assassinate, a move that has him lunge forward and stab an opponent with a hidden blade as if he's cosplaying Assassin's Creed. Either that, or his next destination was my home city of Glasgow and he wanted to blend in with the locals, as the main hobbies are football, drinking and stabbing people. Typically in that order. His passive skill extends the duration of his cloaking skill if he lands the Assassinate attack while cloaked. Next up are the members of Chris's Hound Wolf squad from Resident Evil 8, some of the most forgettable characters in the entire franchise. First up is Lobo. His name is Spanish for wolf, though I've personally never seen a wolf wielding a .30 caliber machine gun. His skills include a shoulder charge in which he cosplays being the Charger from Left 4 Dead 2, and the ability to fire unlimited ammo from his machine gun for a brief time, effectively turning himself into a turret. This skill works well with his passive skill that increases damage dealt the longer the weapon is fired. Next we have Night Howl. Personally, I would have preferred the name for this character to be Night Owl, and I hear you correcting me, but owls don't go with the wolf theme like Lobo and Canine. Well, neither does Umber, which is a kind of moth, or Tundra, which is an Arctic biome. Anyway, Night Howl, like most of his squad, has a Dragoon automatic rifle as their main weapon. His skills include an automated drone that flies alongside him and targets anyone nearby. His other skill is a sonic disruption pod, which creates a small area where opponents can't focus, target, or use their skills correctly. His passive skill reduces his damage intake well in proximity to these devices. K9 also has the Dragoon automatic rifle like most of this squad. His skills include a stationary LMG turret that will automatically target the nearest enemy, but can switch target to whoever K9 is shooting at. His other skill is Olfactory Pursuit, granting him increased movement speed and the ability to smell opponents in the map, giving away their positions. So I'm now officially making it canon that this is an alternate universe version of Miike from Attack on Titan, who possessed the exact same ability. His passive skill increases his damage output based on how many opponents he can smell. Who needs Super Saiyan when you have Super Sniffing? Tundra is next on the list as the only female member of the squad. She also has the Dragoon, implying there must have been a bargain sale for this weapon at some point. Her skills allow her to place decoy virus capsules that act like proximity mines, and she can load her handgun with a special toxin that deals massive damage to an opponent with the second shot. Her passive skill buffs her other skills based on how many virus capsules she holds. The final member of the squad is Umber Eyes. He's one of the few characters with a unique weapon, in this case, a sniper rifle. His skills include a flashbang grenade to stun opponents and thermal goggles that you can use to see opponents through walls. His passive skill gives him cloaking like Hunk when he's standing still. As for the final member of this cast, last but certainly not least, there is God. Compared to many other members of the cast, Chris has a ridiculously well put together loadout of weapons and skills, a silenced pistol and, I hope you're sitting down for this surprise, another Dragoon rifle. His skills are what make him a powerful force in the field, as he can become for a short while. He still receives damage, but absolutely nothing can kill him while this is active. Chris Redfield is a man best known for punching things, BOWs, Wesker and any stray boulders in his path. So naturally, the one thing he needs is AMG Gauntlet from RE7's DLC to make his punches even stronger. This skill will deal massive damage, stun creatures and send players flying back, allowing him to get easy kills. His passive skill increases the damage dealt to creatures when he's on low health, meaning even tyrants and nemesis may find it wiser to run away from him than engage.
Dude, you can't do shit with that molded. Jack Baker running from Chris.
I mean, name a BOW that is intelligent that wouldn't run from Chris. Now that we've covered the basics of the game so everyone's up to speed, I can get this review started in full. However, before I dissect this game and separate the good from the bad and explain why it failed so badly, a quick history lesson is important. This is because in isolation, this game may not seem quite as bad as people make it out to be, and if you're unfamiliar with the wider Resident Evil franchise, then you may not notice the absolute downgrade and disappointment this game turned out to be. As the game was marketed as being part of the 25-year celebration of the franchise, I think it's only fair to look at the 19-year history of online play in Resident Evil with a particular focus on PvP entries. Let's cast our minds back to 2003 with the birth of the first Resident Evil Online game, Outbreak. Outbreak Files 1 and 2 were ambitiously made for the PS2 and were way ahead of their time, considering they were built for online co-op play in the days of dial-up internet. In Outbreak File 1 there are 5 separate campaigns and 8 main protagonists to choose from. In Outbreak File 2 there are 5 more campaigns, 6 extra challenge modes called Elimination and Showdown respectively, and the same 8 protagonists. The protagonists have alternate costumes and skins that grant different gameplay buffs, with a total of 101 different playable characters between the two games. So 8 main characters, but with 101 variations, and 16 playable scenarios or modes. The Resident Evil series would need to wait another 5 years before the next online entry would be released in 2009, Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5, being a mainline game, features a full campaign that can be played in co-op. There are also 2 side campaigns in forms of Lost in Nightmares and Desperate Escape. Originally split between Mercenaries and Mercenaries Reunion, later releases of the game merged the two into Mercenaries United, while also adding in the No Mercy mode. While Resident Evil 4's Mercenaries featured 5 characters and 4 maps, Resident Evil 5 Mercenaries has much more to offer. The number of stages is doubled to 8, and the cast has also been expanded to a total of 18 playable characters. Resident Evil 5 also included the first true PvP mode for the franchise with the Versus mode. Resident Evil 5 Versus consisted of the 8 Mercenaries maps and the original 10 Mercenaries characters. There were 4 game modes in total: Survivors, Team Survivors, Slayers, and Team Slayers. So 8 maps, 18 characters, and 10 modes in total. 2010 saw the release of one of the most obscure Resident Evil games, Mercenaries 3D. This game for the Nintendo 3DS purely focused on being a mix of Resident Evil 4 and Resident Evil 5's Mercenaries modes, but was also designed with co-op in mind. The game features 8 characters, each with alternate costumes with different stats, making for a total of 16. There are 30 playable missions across 8 different maps. So 8 maps, 16 characters, and 30 missions. 2011 saw the release of the most obscure game on this list, Resident Evil Mercenaries Versus, released originally for the iPhone 3G. This 2011 iPhone game, despite its tiny size, still manages to feature 3 playable characters, 3 playable maps, and 4 game modes including a team mode. So 3 maps, 3 characters, and 4 modes. Resident Evil Revelations released in February of 2012, and though the campaign is only single player, it features its own unique twist on the Mercenaries concept, Raid Mode. Raid Mode can be played in co-op and features a selection of 25 playable characters with 22 missions across 20 maps. So 20 maps, 25 characters, 22 missions, and the campaign. In March of the same year, Operation Raccoon City was released as an online cooperative spin-off title set in the Doomed City. The game features 2 campaigns, one for each specific team of 6, USS Wolfpack and Echo 6. The characters in this game all have specific skills, as they are designed to work as a team with different strengths and weaknesses. Vector, for example, can briefly become invisible, and DA can become invulnerable for a limited time. Sound familiar? This game also marks the return of PvP with the Versus mode, which features 4 different modes. Team Attack, a classic team deathmatch. Survivor, where players compete for a seat in the rescue helicopter. Biohazard, a capture the flag style game mode. And Heroes, a team deathmatch which adds in 8 classic characters with much higher stats and stronger buffs. This Versus mode also offers 15 playable maps. So, 15 maps, 20 characters, and 4 modes. 2012 was a busy year for Resident Evil, as in October, Resident Evil 6 was released to a, let's just say, mixed reception. Resident Evil 6 features 4 interconnected campaigns for the 7 main characters of the story. Mercenaries and its No Mercy variant also returns, featuring 10 maps and 18 playable characters. The No Mercy mode on PC also included a crossover with the Leopard Dead 2 cast, providing the game with 4 more characters, bringing the total to 22. Outside of Mercenaries, RE6 boasts a wide variety of game modes for PvP. There's Agent Hunt, allowing players to take control of creatures in the campaign. Survivors and Team Survivors return from RE5 with a different concept, as upon death you respawn as a creature instead. Onslaught is a twist on RE5 Slayers mode, where you play Mercenaries to send an army of infected to the other player. Siege mode involves 2 teams, one controlling creatures and the other playing as normal with the objective of killing or protecting the AI teammate respectively. Predator mode involves one player as the Ustanak and the other 5 trying to either defeat or escape him before time runs out. All of this brings Resident Evil 6's impressive total to 10 maps, 22 characters, 18 creatures, and 12 game modes. Revelations 2, released in 2015, featured the return of Raid Mode. This version of Raid Mode features 18 characters, approximately 45 maps depending on how you count them, and 53 missions. 2016 saw the release of arguably the worst Resident Evil game ever to exist, Umbrella Corps. This game was designed exclusively for PvP and, as such, works as an important comparison to Reverse. Umbrella Corps put a stronger focus on close quarters combat with, shall we say, varying results. That said, the game does offer 14 maps from across the series. As for the game modes, there's a single player mode, The Experiment, but the main online modes designed for single and team play are: One Life Match is a deathmatch where the players, if you couldn't already guess, have only 1 life. Multi-mission is a multi-round mode where the objective of each round changes with 8 possible variations. 4 survivors is won by whoever can stay alive the longest against the creatures and other players. So, 14 maps, 4 core game modes, unless we count the multi-mission variations to make it 12 game modes. Finally, we have Resident Evil Resistance, released in 2020 alongside the Resident Evil 3 remake. Resistance takes inspiration from Dead by Daylight with its asymmetrical gameplay format and focus on the survivors escaping the situation rather than fighting to win. There are 7 playable survivors and 5 playable masterminds, giving us a total of 12 playable characters, all of whom are customizable. Masterminds can also control a total of 11 different creatures, though the majority are zombie variants. The game also features 7 distinct and decently sized maps. So, 7 maps, 12 characters, 11 creatures, and a single game mode. January 21st, 2021. Resident Evil Village is set to release in May of the same year when the official Resident Evil YouTube channel drops this teaser trailer for the upcoming PvP game, Resident Evil Reverse, complete with the caption, "This online multiplayer title was created as a thank you to fans for the 25th anniversary of the Resident Evil series. Available for free to purchasers of Resident Evil Village, it features beloved Resident Evil characters as they clash in 6-person death matches." The top comments on the video perfectly sum up the overall reaction from the community in response to this. I personally remember being utterly disgusted at the look of the comic book filter with the cell shading making it look more like something from Street Fighter or Borderlands rather than Resident Evil. I also hated seeing the return of Chris's design from Resident Evil 7, probably the most hated redesign in the entire franchise. Look at him when compared to the designs that came before. This isn't Chris Redfield, it's Roger Greenvalley. But, you know what they say, never judge a book by its cover. An open beta was announced to run from April 8th to April 11th, setting a plan for 3 days of playtesting from the community. Unfortunately, when the beta went live on April 8th, it was plagued with matchmaking and server connection issues, eventually forcing Capcom to take it offline for maintenance. A second open beta was then scheduled for April 14th to April 16th, and this one managed to go according to plan, giving the community a good look at this upcoming game while also confirming many of the fears that it wasn't going to be particularly good. I remember thinking, if nothing else, it could pass as a bit of mindless fun with friends. Then the game was delayed. Resident Evil Village release and Reverse was nowhere to be seen. Capcom refused to ever give explicit details about why the game had been delayed, but given the matchmaking issues during the open betas, many assumed that this was the reason. Thus, a new release date was given, July 2021. It would be releasing 2 months late. Not too big of a deal, some might say an acceptable delay to give a game some more polish. July then came and fucking went. Reverse was thus delayed once more, this time until October of 2022. October 21st, 2022. The launch trailer for the game is uploaded to YouTube, showcasing 2 new maps, a new creature in the form of the Lycan, and the addition of Chris's Hound Wolf squad from Resident Evil Village.
Mission adjustment?
No, doesn't change anything.
Been a while since we fought together, Captain.
Doing nothing but recon's gotten me out of shape.
Let's have some fun, people.
Move out.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The game was finally released on October 27th, much to the disappointment of most players, as after being delayed for a year and a half, the game offered only 2 maps, 6 characters, 5 creatures, and only 1 single game mode. An extra map, 5 new characters, and 1 new creature were released through updates over the course of the following 4 months. Though there were reported plans for more content, these ended up being nothing more than rumours. This was it. This was the thank you to fans for the 25th anniversary of the Resident Evil series. Imagine having the audacity to thank someone by kicking them right in the balls. That's definitely one way to show your appreciation. Given that no other updates were added, it's abundantly clear that Capcom abandoned this game as soon as it was released, probably hoping the Battle Pass would help them claw back some of the money spent making it. But I'm getting ahead of myself. This game does have its positives, and I have every intention of being fair and pointing those out in this video, so I will be using those to balance out my criticisms about as well as the game itself appears to be balanced. The first thing that stood out since the teaser trailer, which was conveniently removed from the launch trailer, was the ugly comic book filter that is on as a default setting. I'm not sure what they were smoking in the developer studio when they thought that making a Resident Evil game look like a comic would work well. The two concepts go together about as well as oil and water. This filter, apart from making everything look overly saturated and reminiscent of Street Fighter IV, a much better game, it also makes the snow in the village map uncomfortably bright. Speaking of maps, while the 3 available maps in the game are rather beautiful and nice to look at, having mostly been ripped from their respective games and condensed for the sake of this game, they do leave me wanting. The RPD has the issue of there being too many walls and winding hallways, making it hard to return to the action sometimes. The village's elevation makes camping far easier to achieve, and no one likes a camper in their shooting game. The Baker House is arguably the best designed map for PvP, especially if there were to be a team mode. That said, the fact that this game, released in 2022, has the same number of playable maps as an iPhone game from 2011 is quite frankly embarrassing. I can understand the argument from Capcom that they would want to keep it contained to the RE Engine games, even though they debunked this excuse with the classic skins they released. But even among those 4 games, there's plenty of maps that could have been added. What's easy to forget is that due to the training area known as the Playground, there are in fact 4 maps in this game. RE7, RE8, RE2 Remake and RE3 Remake all have plenty of locations that could have been made into maps for the game. The Salt Mines, Dimitrescu's Castle, Ness, and the Raccoon City streets to name just a few. Had this game been kept alive another year, it could have also featured some RE4 Remake maps such as the village and the island. The next kick in the teeth, conveniently highlighted in the launch trailer, is Chris's Furry Squad. This game is supposed to be a celebration of the 25th anniversary of the series and thank you to the fans. So they decide to make half the cast a bunch of no-names with a stupid design philosophy. While these characters having matching equipment and uniforms, for lack of a better term, makes sense from a realism standpoint, it doesn't work in a fast-paced competitive shooter environment. These 5 characters look virtually identical. Look at this image and tell me which is which at a second's glance. In a game where different characters have different abilities and therefore require different engagement strategies, not being able to tell them apart just leads to confusion. This is further highlighted by their concept art showing their faces, which would have easily cleared up this issue. Ironically enough, they're far easier to differentiate when using the Division 2 skins, which were part of a crossover event. Of course, this would require everyone owning the skins and using them, which was never going to happen. I must ask though, why, oh why, do we have these characters in the game instead of 5 more fan favourite faces?
Why?
As stated earlier, the classic skins show that they could have easily made updated versions of the classic characters in their designs. Umber Eyes is a sniper, so why not swap him out for Piers? Tundra's main focus is on virus capsules. Why not make this Rebecca, considering her lore in the movies? Where's Barry, Billy, Steve, Sheva, Sherry, Jake? Hell, where's Carlos? There's no reason why Carlos isn't in this game. He's in Dead by Daylight, for Christ's sake. Ethan doesn't count for this argument simply because we'd never be allowed to see his fucking face, so to add him into PvP multiplayer he'd have to be wearing a Payday 2 mask or dress up as the RE4 merchant or something. Come to think of it, the merchant should be a playable character in a game like this. Speaking of RE4, had this game received RE4 remake content, we could have even had Luis and Krauser. The same can be said for the creatures. There are so many iconic creatures in the series that could have been added instead of the fat fucking mold of all things. This is a series with awesome creatures like the Lickers, the Hunters, Colmillos, Reapers, Crimson Heads, Dr. Salvador, Verdugo, G. Birkin, Magini and more, yet they decided to have us play as a glowing tumour. And as this is a level 0 creature, this is the one you will inevitably play the most, so get used to the sight of him. It also irks my OCD that for level 2 there are 2 creatures, the Tyrant and Nemesis, yet for level 1 there are 3 creatures, the Lycan, Jack Baker and the Hunter Gamma, while the Walking Pluk is on its own in level 0. Why could the Lycan not have also been level 0 so that the setup could have been 2 creatures per option? All that said, the creatures are indeed fun to play as considering their varied gameplay and designs, more so when the alternate skins are added into the mix. The finish animations are also particularly entertaining and don't really get boring to see either. The developers also took care to have the animations shift the position of the characters so they never clip through walls while performing the kill. This is easy to miss, but once you're made aware of this it can't be ignored. I also happen to like the attention to detail with Nemesis finisher, where he will say stars when executing Chris or Jill. Mechanically, the game certainly has quite the generous portion of issues, ranging from minor to major in scale. One of the first that comes to mind is Capcom's insistent hard-on for their focus aim mechanic that began in RE2 Remake. The longer you carefully aim your shot, the more damage it does. While this works for a single zombie in a narrow corridor, it doesn't do nearly as well for situations with multiple enemies like in RE4, and certainly not in a fast-paced shooter like this. What this mechanic means is that handguns deal more damage per shot than a fully automatic rifle, which is counterintuitive to what you'd expect from a PvP shooter. Using Jill's Samurai Edge as an example, an unfocused body shot deals 110 damage. A focused body shot gains a 50% damage increase to 165. Headshots deal another 50% on top of that for 248. Critical hits are also another 50% on top of that, dealing 371 damage. This means a focused critical headshot will deal 240% more damage than an unfocused body shot, and that is without skills and virus capsules for boosting damage. In optimal conditions, Jill's Samurai Edge can deal 557 damage in a single critical headshot. That's a 406% difference. This mechanic also means that characters such as Ada and Umber Eyes have a massive advantage with their main power weapons, which are designed specifically for focus shots. Another, more subtle issue with the aiming mechanic is that the reticle does not actually indicate where the bullet will travel. In the interest of realism, the RE engine has the bullet's trajectory tied to the gun's barrel, meaning the aiming reticle is off-center compared to the shot itself. Normally, this isn't too big of an issue, but it is most noticeable when trying to fire around corners. Kinda odd that they decided to make this aspect of the game realistic. Meanwhile, it's entirely possible to fire a rocket at your own feet and take no damage, unlike previous games in the series. While most characters have some kind of melee move, some of them have terrible tracking and hit detection. With Chris's punch, you can roll and usually smack an opponent to the ground. However, Hunk's stab and Jill's hot dogger are fantastic examples of moves that spend more time missing than hitting their target, and given that these animations leave you vulnerable to attack, they go from being a last resort to a death warrant. Melee moves have some small degree of auto-aim, which is bipolar at best, so even reliable moves like Chris's punch can sometimes target a wall or the enemy you weren't aiming for if someone else happens to be close enough. Leon's shotgun also seems to be designed incorrectly. Shotguns are a close-range weapon and therefore typically don't do too well from a distance, which is the reason Leon has his pistols. However, his shotgun's crit chance is seemingly so high that he can deal considerable damage and stun you from ridiculous distances. Comparing this to Resident Evil 5 or Operation Raccoon City really highlights how wrong this feels. I'm guessing that's why it's called the W870, 870 being its effective range in meters. See how that stunned him? Creatures fighting, while not having anything mechanically wrong with it, doesn't exactly make for the most riveting gameplay when it's just a mash fest of trying to keep the other player in hit stun as long as possible. A fight between fat moles is overwhelmingly intense. There's also dancing chicken fish. Nemesis is the only creature that can break free of this monotony with his rocket launcher. Still, I suppose nothing beats pounding the tuna or a good jack-off. Escape options are also limited. While all the characters can dodge rolls, some have less rolls available to them than others. Rolls are also vulnerable, so a player can still be killed even while rolling, as all it really does is reduce damage. This issue is compounded by the fact that some creatures, such as the Hunter and Nemesis, have attacks that can consistently stun lock you with no chance of escaping. This is also what makes Ada such a good character, as she's the only character who can escape these situations due to her passive skill. One solution to this would be in the inclusion of limited invincibility frames. Resident Evil 5 had a cooldown on stun animations, meaning that if someone was spamming you, there was still a chance to escape even if you were still taking damage. The only exception to this was the rarely used nitrogen pistol trick that could indeed lock the other player in a touch of death combo. Escape options being limited, melee stuns being inconsistent, and some creatures having stun lock attacks means that often, killing an opponent at close range is a suicide mission. Another minor issue that can often compound other issues, such as the lack of escape options, is that there's an animation hierarchy for what moves will win when both are triggered at the same time. While that on the surface is fine, the issue stems from your skills being registered as activated even if they don't get the chance to play their animation. Many times I've been interrupted when going for a melee or throwing a flashbang, only to die when I later discovered that the game counted the input and the skill is now on cooldown despite the animation never playing. The next issue is character balancing and the utility of different skills. Night Howl's whole gimmick is centered around his disruption device that creates a box around him to reduce damage taken, slow enemies, and mess with their controls. So the easiest way to counter him is to simply keep your distance or break the device, something even the Fat Mole can do with a well-timed jump. That said, it's genuinely hilarious seeing players move around like staggering drunks due to the inverted controls. Lobo's skills sound good on paper but will often leave you wanting in practice. Unless you can position yourself at the end of a narrow straight, then his turret skill can be outmaneuvered and interrupted easily while also leaving him open with its slow movement. His charge, while having arguably better utility, has an upgrade that resets its distance for each enemy you hit. This means using on a single player will leave you completely vulnerable. K9's mini turret has never posed a threat to me whatsoever. The only time I remember being killed by it was when another player was attacking me and drawing all my attention. His ability to smell through walls in 4K is definitely advantageous, but Umber Eyes does this far better. So it isn't unreasonable to say that 3 out of the 5 members of Chrissy's Furry Squad aren't even really worth playing outside of their somewhat fun gimmicks. I remind you once more, characters like Carlos aren't in this game because we just had to have these 3 pillars of the Resident Evil franchise. Perhaps Carlos isn't in the game so he can be there to comfort Jill, whose loadout leaves much to be desired. Her hot dogger often misses completely as stated earlier, and her mines are an inconvenience at best. Not only that, but they have a ridiculously small hitbox and are very loud, which is counterintuitive. Either make them small but silent or big and loud. And last I checked, Jill Valentine did not defeat Nemesis by placing down tiny mines and running away. She defeated him with grit, determination, smarts, and a huge fuck-off anime gun. Now imagine that in this game! Claire and Leon are probably the most balanced characters overall for the game. Leon has a shotgun which is devastating up close and has its dual wield for ranged engagements, along with decent survivability with his rookie spirit healing. However, he can easily be overwhelmed due to his slow fire rate and lack of powerful ranged options, except for when his shotgun wants to work like an intercontinental missile strike. Claire is best played like a little mouse using guerrilla tactics, firing her shots off and rolling out of the way to reload. Her adrenaline shot can be upgraded to give her temporary invulnerability, increasing her chances of escaping a situation. However, like Leon, she doesn't have an easy answer for ranged opponents. Tundra is best described as a glass cannon, as her main ability, the Killer Bee shot, can absolutely wreck BOWs with ease, allowing her to maintain a kill streak easily. However, she doesn't have any keep away or escape options if the shot misses, meaning that one mistake can cost the player everything. Not only that, but she can be countered by simply not engaging after the first shot hits. And like other cast members, she doesn't have any good long range options outside of this skill. Hunk got utterly shafted in this game. One of the coolest characters in the series, reduced to being the punchline to every joke in a match. His cloaking ability doesn't even make him invisible, as you can clearly still see him. It works better at distance, can avoid BOW tracking and counter abilities that see through walls. However, his assassinate ability requires him to be right in his opponent's face, and due to a damage buff, it's encouraged to use it when cloaked. But it's pretty difficult to perform a stealthy stab when you're a glowing neon blue outline. Not to mention the fact that the stab rarely kills someone from full health, meaning you have to finish them off and then when they transform, you're left without options other than to run away. And if you stab a mold and kill it, or stab another creature but don't kill it, then Godspeed you poor bastards. Of course, that's assuming it hits at all. Half the time it misses, especially on stairs, and the rest of the time it can often hit someone while they roll, meaning Hunk is now in hit stun longer than the victim of his attack. Also, for some reason, despite being the stealthy character of the game, he has the loudest sidearm and seems to be one of the loudest characters when moving. How is this sneaking up on anyone? Perhaps we should start calling him Human Unit Never Kills. And the Shuggy. Oh nice, so that didn't, like... I mean, really.
I should not stay right next to Sawfelt.
I
Yes,
missed. Can hit me across the map.
Hello, Hung Stab missing again.
No, I can see you. Oh, we both died.
Oh, what's the point? On the opposite end of the spectrum, we have Chris with an extremely strong and well put together kit of skills. As stated earlier, Chris can shut down most engagements by becoming immortal and knocking opponents to the ground. Not only that, but even after death, if they attack him as a BOW, he can sometimes deal so much damage so quickly that not even a Tyrant or Nemesis can deal any damage. The only reliable counter to this character is range, bringing me on to the final two characters. Ada and Umber Eyes are the undisputed best characters in this game. Both can attack effectively at any range. Both have silent weapons that benefit from the focus aim mechanics, and on top of that, their weapons have upgrades that can stun or knock back opponents, making their second shot easier if the first doesn't instantly kill an opponent. They both have answers when under pressure, as Ada has her pipe bomb and kick while Umber Eyes has his flashbang, and given that he can see through walls, it's rare for him to be flanked or caught off guard. Both of these characters will probably kill you before you get close, and even if you are close, you've just made it easier for them to aim at your head. To really highlight just how good Umber Eyes is, here's my friend Available's best match using the character. I've cut it down to save some time. And while I'm aware some of these issues with the characters can be fixed with the right builds using specific upgrade coins, for example, my hunk can consistently kill with his assassinate attack and will actually move quietly. Lobo's damage output can be increased to a ludicrous level and more. I think it's important to remember that most players aren't going to invest time into a character who just feels bad. If you play Hunk for the first time and get 0 kills and 14 deaths, then you play Umber Eyes and come first place, you're usually going to put more time into Umber Eyes. Even the basic design of the deathmatch itself has issues. Vials don't spawn nearly as often as they should for 6-player games. Creatures should work as a comeback mechanic, hence why their points are halved, but this doesn't work if you're playing as groaning jello for most of it. As there's only a high number of vials at the end, it means that the last minute or so of a game is the most intense, and then it ends, because the matches are also too damn short. 5 minutes just isn't long enough when you can spend half your time navigating the hallways in the RPD just to get a line of sight on an opponent. Now, some of you watching might say that at least these are cool new concepts, so obviously mistakes are going to be made. But none of this is new. The design might be new, but the foundations are tried and tested, meaning that Capcom should have honestly known better. Power weapons on the map started with Resident Evil 5, though in that versus mode you'd keep them and drop them upon death, whereas in this game they're a rare bonus and you keep your main weapons. Turning into a creature upon death was first done in Resident Evil 6, mind you, at least in this game it is actually worthwhile, so that's one point in its favour. A lesson was definitely learned. Nemesis attacks and animations are all taken from Resistance. The concept of skills for the player characters is lifted and, in some cases, directly copied from Operation Raccoon City. Hunk's cloaking? Vector and Willow have that ability. Chrissy's invulnerability? DA and Lupo have that. Claire's adrenaline shot? Bertha and Harley have something similar. Umber and K9's ability to see through walls? Spectre and Party Girl can do that. Jill's mines? Beltway and Tweed could do that too. Lobo's infinite ammo? DA and Lupo could do that too. His charge? Well, that's from Mr. X in Resistance. K9 speed boost? That's from Bertha and Harley too. Tundra's Killer Bee is adapted from Four Eyes and shown as induce infection skills, and Leon's loadout and melee are copied and pasted from Resident Evil 6 Mercenaries. These glaring similarities are some of the first things I noticed when I first played the game. The more you examine the game, the more it becomes apparent how lazy this game's development was. Again, I remind everyone that this was for the 25th anniversary of the franchise as a thank you to the players, and we got only 3 maps, only 11 characters with only 6 of them being fan favourites, repeated loadouts, skills recycled from Operation Raccoon City, gameplay mechanics recycled from RE5 and RE6, only one single gameplay mode, no team modes, no variation, just a free-for-all deathmatch. One thing that encapsulates the lazy approach to this game is the music. There are only 4 themes in the entire game. The main menu theme and results theme are fine. In fact, I happen to quite like the results theme, as it almost gives off John Wick vibes to me. The actual gameplay music, however, let's have a listen to the Survivor theme. That's right, that's Hunk's RE2 remake theme, Looming Dread. Well, 7 seconds of it looped. A 7-second fucking loop is what you'll be hearing for most of the time you play. And what about when you become a creature? Surprise! It's the same theme, just a different section of it also looped. At least this loop is a decent length and doesn't sound quite as boring. Unfortunately, as you'll most likely be playing the walking grey shit most of the time, you won't live long enough to hear the full thing. I'm surprised they didn't throw in the fucking basement theme for good measure. In fact, I think the basement theme should be the Fat Moles theme. It works well. But the laziness doesn't end there. There was a surprising amount of effort put into developing something in the laziest way possible, strangely enough. One of the most absurd features of this game is the fact that it was designed, at least initially, to be a live service game. If you don't know what a live service game is, it's a game geared towards constant updates and new content to retain player engagement, so that players keep coming back and, ideally, pay money. Some examples are games such as Grand Theft Auto Online, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, and gacha games like Genshin Impact. One thing they all have in common is a monetization scheme to encourage players to give them more money. GTA Online has a shark card, so you can pay real money for in-game currency to unlock and obtain things faster. Xenoverse 2 has the TP medals that, while they can be obtained via gameplay, you need so many of them for the unlockables that it press gangs you into paying for them with real money. And Genshin Impact has the character and weapon banners, the resource bundles, and the most relevant to this video about Reverse, the Battle Pass. So what constant updates and new content did Reverse provide as part of its live service model? Let's look at the timeline. October 27th, 2022. The game is finally released after a delay of a year and a half. November 16th, 2022, Update 1 adds Tundra, The Village, Chris's RE5 and RE6 skins, Jill's Stars and Battlesuit skins, Claire's Tank Top skin, Hunk's Midnight skin, Leon's Classic Uniform skin, Nemesis Inferno skin, and Battle Pass content. November 29th, 2022, Update 2 adds Night Howl, Hunter's skin, the Super Tyrant skin, and Battle Pass content. December 14th, Update 3 adds Umber Eyes, the Lycan, Hunk's Grim Reaper skin, Claire's Revelations 2 skin, Ada's Trenchcoat skin, and more Battle Pass content. December 21st, Update 4 adds Lobo and some Battle Pass content. And finally, January 11th, 2023, Update 5 adds K9 and more Battle Pass content. The purchasable content was these skins, all for $2.99 each, 3 RP boosters for $2.99, 10 RP boosters for $7.99, 50 RP boosters for $29.99. If you're wondering, RP is what is used as the in-game currency for purchasing cosmetics, skins, and upgrades. And the Premium Pass was $9.99. That was it. That was all the updates this game ever received. January 11th puts them awfully close to RE4 Remake's March 24th release, so many players, myself included, anticipated that there would be RE4 Remake content added to the game. There never was. But at least the Battle Pass got extended to level 120, right? Speaking of the Battle Pass, while perhaps typical of live service games such as Fortnite, it doesn't offer much as a reward for the time and potential money invested in playing, especially for the Premium Battle Pass. While I'll admit that the wallpapers are really nice, though I do wonder why there's 49 in the game and not 50, why are some of them locked behind the Season Pass? Hell, out of the 242 slots on the Battle Pass, 61 of them are blank, even on the Premium Pass. The reward totals are 9 character skins, 49 weapon skins, 18 upgrade coins, 32 victory poses, 23 wallpapers, 6 RP boosters, and 45 charms. Ha! Charms. let's talk about another dumb thing on this seemingly never-ending list of brain-dead decisions the developers took with this game. Charms are little cosmetics that can be attached to your guns, designed based off key items from the games, and they are tiny. You're never going to see these during gameplay for them to have any real impact or be identifiable, yet they make up 25% of the Battle Pass rewards. The smart solution to this issue would be to remove them entirely and switch them for something else, perhaps custom patches like an umbrella core, or something that can be visible on the character. But no, oh no, Capcom's gigabrain solution was to design a coin that makes the charms much bigger, but equipping it requires sacrificing one customization slot on your character. That's right, who needs damage buffs, skill upgrades or health boosts? I don't need important things like that, I just want everyone to see my massive donut. This Battle Pass is an absolute joke to me, especially when compared to the Battle Pass from Genshin Impact. Every slot offers something important, be it money or resources for weapons, character, or artifact upgrades. Curiously, the challenges for the Battle Pass name the matches specifically as Deathmatch, making me wonder if more modes were originally intended for this game before getting scrapped. It seems odd to me that they made this game as a live service game with limited updates and content while trying to encourage people to spend money on it. What money were they trying to make back? 99% of the content in this game are reused assets from previous games. The maps, the characters, the creatures, the weapons, the charms, even the victory poses are from other Capcom games like Street Fighter and Dead Rising. And let's face it, it's not like they spent thousands on the soundtrack now, is it? This live service game has about as much life in it as the shambling zombies of the series. Surely this is where the list of problems finally ends, right, Sarko? I hear you saying. Give them some credit. At least they fixed the matchmaking since the open beta, right?
You serious?
This game's networking is about as good as its music, unsurprisingly. This game runs on peer-to-peer matchmaking, and if I had to guess why Capcom chose this instead of a dedicated server like any other live service game, then it was probably to cut costs after spending so much money on the music and charm enlargements. If you don't know the difference between peer-to-peer and dedicated servers, then allow me to give the most basic of explanations. Peer-to-peer means the players connect to each other, with their individual consoles or PCs shouldering most of the burden for connection and rendering of the game. Dedicated servers mean one single main device is shouldering that burden instead. Dedicated servers allow for much larger player bases, smoother gameplay, and far less lag and latency. Peer-to-peer, while cheaper and easier, along with being more suitable for smaller player bases, means that lag is far more likely. And there is definitely lag. 2009 shooter lag. You know it's bad when you fire a rocket and beat it to its destination. I think I've seen most forms of lag in this game at this point. Immortality, being shot through walls, heavy delay, character sliding, teleportation, being killed by ghosts, weapons not even working, and the most annoying of all, input delay. In this clip, it looks like I'm running and not attacking, except I was mashing the attack button. but the attacks happen much later. This is also true for special weapons and some skills, like Claire's Alternator, Tundra's Killer Bee, and Nemesis' Rocket. God damn it, I missed. And how did this fat mold kill me?
Psychic powers.
As for the other bizarre forms of lag, well, just look at this. God, the lag.
You keep saying that.
Okay, shoot me right
What?
through the wall. Yeah, okay.
I saw that. Yes, I saw that. He literally shot through the wall and it hit you.
Oh, okay, so that combo doesn't work on Leon anymore either. Yeah. Like, this is just lag. Like, look at that lag. She's... Wow. I'm amazed I still got a kill. Oh, I don't like this. Wow, whoa! He stabbed me, and that's how long it took.
Oh, it'd be too bad if you died, wouldn't it be?
Yeah. Hi.
Hi.
Oh wow, my meter for the tyrant's in the bottom left of my screen, as is my like attack stuff and everything. That's a funny little glitch.
Yeah.
Yeah, it only leaves RE6 modes. Wow, I have never seen lag like this. The scoreboard is staying up. That's not supposed to just be on my screen.
It was my side.
Oh.
Hi.
Oh god, that was scary lag.
No, I would just call it epic lag.
I got creature angle. What the fuck was that grab? What the fuck? Was he drunk? Wow, okay, you didn't even roll on my screen, Lysandro. You literally just slid while standing.
No.
So I honestly can't tell if you actually dodged that rocket, or if it was just
Oh, for
lag.
fuck's sake.
What? That didn't even fire. That grenade launcher never fired. Like, it did fire, but nothing came out of it but air. That was a fart launcher. Make that make sense.
Okay,
What?
Oh!
Nah, please.
Oh, so you
He
were
can
on the
kill
wall
me
and
that
all of a
easy.
sudden you hit me.
Okay, you're
Oh,
done.
I forgot you can go invisible. so I can't
You are
shoot again.
so laggy.
What?
Not only me, it's Toto
Oh,
too.
that's scary lag.
No, okay.
Oh my god, Zala just jumped in
Don't
the
like
house.
that.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I didn't
Tyrant
actually
made
come,
the
I
Jack
couldn't
Baker
even
chainsaw
Oh,
sound.
wait, want to know what is the other funniest thing? My Nvidia is not working full screen. I need to be
was
Windows.
There.
Dude, this shit is so laggy, dude.
Yeah, this is
What was-
crazy.
I
Wait,
just
wait.
saw-
Yeah, that's this game's
I just
action.
saw the
I
tyrant
forgot it.
chasing after Sarko while stunned.
Wait.
Yes.
I'm gonna screen share.
I can't be that
Oh
laggy.
my god. My
God.
screen for 2 seconds. I need someone to.
Ow. God, that lag. Oh my god. Wow, from a mile away. Oh, that right. That shouldn't have hit.
Actually, I changed my mind. Oh, we're freezing again.
That was
Oh yeah. That was amazing to see a Tyrant running at like 5
He was,
million
like,
miles an
squat
hour.
shitting himself.
I saw.
Oh yeah, it's pretty bad.
Silent
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Did Leon actually shoot me just now? Did he shoot me just now with his shotgun? Did I see that right? What? Are you? I'm in the wall.
Wait, what? Hello? Oh! Wait, Sam, come, please. He's actually stuck in the wall.
I don't know if I'm stuck, but I'm in the wall.
See his son, right?
Where is he? Oh yeah, he is in the wall.
Can you move?
He walked
Oh,
into
I'm
the wall?
stuck.
Oh, you're stuck.
Wait, can you proceed? Okay.
Yeah, try and jump. Let me jump out. Maybe that'll help.
What if I hit you?
Yeah, you'll have to, you stun him out of it. I haven't got anything to.
Oh.
Yeah, he's actually out
Wait.
now.
Oh, this is amazing. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
The break should spawn. I was gonna shoot him with.
What the hell? What? Okay, Chris just turned into Blanca. Umbrella Chronicles has RE0, RE1, and RE3, and some new stuff. I think we're about to disconnect from the host because... Jesus Christ. Oh my god, this lag. I'm scared to even stand still. What the fuck even what the fuck is going on? I'm spamming the explode button, waiting for it to actually happen. Oh, there we go. There was even a game-breaking lag glitch that prevented players from respawning, which I have encountered multiple times. So really not worth it. Where is everyone? Hang on, has that glitch happened again? Oh my god, the glitch has been repeated. No one spawning. Dude, really? You're just gonna fucking run? Run then. I'm better as a human anyway, I've got a sniper rifle. See, you run from that. Oh, it's the glitch. I'm not respawning. The other downside to peer-to-peer connections is that if the host disconnects or rage quits, then the whole match goes down. Annoyingly, if someone disconnects or quits, they aren't removed from the leaderboard, meaning you can lose a match to someone who rage quit or disconnected near the end. The game used to allow you to select a region to reduce the chances of terrible lag, but at some point they decided to just crush all the servers into one, probably due to lack of players. On Steam, the game peaks at around 50 players, but the overall average has consistently been half that. But don't worry, to free up space and make connections faster, the game will ingeniously kick you from your own private lobby after approximately 5 minutes of inactivity. I know I keep saying this, but it's important to hammer this point home. This was made to celebrate the 25th anniversary of the franchise and was presented as a thank you to the players. Yet, after a delay of 1.5 years, the only differences I could spot between the open beta and the finished release were different sound effects for a few things, certain animations being longer or slower, Chris having a different weapon, RE7 Chris on the title screen and in-game was changed to RE8 Chris, the aura for certain skills being different, the first, second and third place icon being visible over your own head. Oh, and Hunk actually was invisible originally and wasn't a neon blue outline. Let's be real, these are things that could have been fixed or changed in a month, not 1.5 years. This game released originally with only 2 maps and concluded with only 3. This is why when describing this game, 2 words come to mind: lazy and cheap. It's clear that corners were cut everywhere possible. The music is lazy and frankly embarrassing. Only 3 maps, the same number of maps as an iPhone game from 2011. Everything is reused, downscaled assets. Half the cast are not recognisable iconic characters from the series. Only 1 game mode. They couldn't even be bothered to make a 3-on-3 team mode. RE5 had 2-on-2 in 2009, and its Versus was just a glorified Mercenaries mod. A lazy battle pass filled with pointless cosmetics and 1/4 of it is blank spots. There was no attempt to keep this game alive, no RE4 remake content, and even the classic skins we got were limited in scope. You're telling me Dead by Daylight can give us RE4 Ada, BSAA Jill, and classic Nemesis, but this game can't? Speaking of classic skins, they prove that they could have added other characters, creatures, and maps from previous games with little issue, so it's not as though the RE engine was a limiting factor here. And I know, I can hear you saying it, some of my complaints are minor and even nitpicky at times. I'm by no means claiming that every single fault or shortcoming of the game is serious, important, or had any meaningful impact. However, the small flaws help to compound the bigger flaws, and it all snowballs into an overall negative gaming experience that just can't be ignored. So, does this make this game all bad? Of course not. This game has crossplay, which is brilliant and allows people to play with their friends regardless of which version of the game they have. The scoring system is well thought out and works far better than that of RE5 Versus, which gave the losing players double the points. The creature inclusion is so much better and way more fun than that of RE6 Survivors. I also love the inclusion of classic skins such as those from Umbrella Chronicles, Outbreak and Mercenaries 3D. Seeing these old designs in modern high definition is a nice little treat, especially when the Tyrant has better cake than RE6 Ada. Talk about a gift that keeps on giving! The HUD is also nicely designed and isn't too intrusive or obstructive like some games in the series. I also happen to like most of the wallpapers, even if I disagree with some being locked behind a season pass. This game is also far superior to the absolute disastrous eSport attempt that was Umbrella Corps, as this game is far more functional and far more fun. It's simple, fast-paced, and offers just enough variety to keep things interesting, so I can say without any hesitation that I've had way more fun on this game than I ever did on Umbrella Corps, or even Resistance for that matter. And I think that's what makes this game so damn frustrating. It has so much potential. There are the foundations of an amazing game sitting here, one that would be worthy of the title of a 25th anniversary celebration and gift to players. But, much like Wesker says of Umbrella and the T-Virus, it seems Capcom
lack the proper vision.
This is a prime example of wasted potential. It wouldn't take a genius to have saved this game either, so allow me to show you what I would have done with this game had Capcom left it up to me, which, in hindsight, may have been a wiser choice. Not to sound like a broken record, but I am, so that's how it comes out. This game was marketed as part of the 25th anniversary celebration of the series and a thank you to the fans. So the content should reflect that concept. The content should celebrate the franchise. So let's start with the maps. I think there should be at least one map from each of the mainline games. While keeping the existing 3 maps, some examples would be the Spencer Mansion, the RPD, the Clock Tower, the Arctic Base, the RE4 Village, Public Assembly, the Chinese Market, the Queen Zenobia, the Fishing Village, the Baker House, and the RE8 Village. And of course, more maps could easily be added from these games and more with future updates, such as the RE4 Island, the Dimitrescu Castle, Terra Grigia, and even the Russian base from Umbrella Chronicles. Continuing the trend, at least 2 characters should be pulled from each game as well. Billy and Rebecca from Resident Evil 0, Chris and Barry from Resident Evil 1, Leon and Claire from Resident Evil 2, Jill and Carlos from Resident Evil 3, Ada and Luis from Resident Evil 4, Sheva and Josh from RE5, Piers and Jake from RE6, Moira and Parker from Revelations, and Ethan and Rhodes from RE8. Like with the maps, more characters could be added via updates and events, such as Steve, Sherry, Nikolai, and Hunk. As for Elena, I'll tell you later. I can understand that a concern with so many characters could cause a lack of variation, though this could be solved with far greater character customization in terms of loadouts and skills, or a bit of imagination on the developer's part. Genshin Impact has 101 different characters with unique abilities and gameplay, even for those who occupy similar builds and niches, so I think an RE game could manage around 20 characters with a little creativity. The same goes for the creatures. Resident Evil has so many iconic creatures it seems ridiculous not to use more of them. The virus capsule system can even remain as it is, with the levels being 0, 1 and 2. However, I would add more creature variation, and one way to achieve this would be to have multiple creatures with relatively similar abilities be dependent on the map you're playing on. For example, for level 0, if you die without vials on the Baker House, you become the Fat Mold. If the same happens in the Spencer Mansion, you become a Crimson Head. This would allow for more creatures overall, while reducing the roulette wheel for which creature you'll get. So my list of creatures that could be added would be Crimson Heads, Classic Hunters, Lickers, Colmillos, Garadores, Reapers, Dr. Salvador, the Executioner, G. Birkin, Napads, and Ustanak. Of course, this list isn't exhaustive, and there's just some of the iconic creatures that spring to mind that I think could fit into the game well. More could obviously be added with updates, just like with maps and characters. Of course, all these maps, characters and creatures are a waste of time without plenty of playable modes to enjoy them in. Only having Deathmatch is shameful of this game, so here's my suggestions for some different modes. Team Deathmatch, Humans vs Creatures, Only Humans, Only Creatures, No Coins or Upgrades, Survival, Capture the Flag variant, and a King of the Hill variant. And as a live service game, there could be special events where a certain objective must be completed within the time frame for special rewards, which would only be in the vein of cosmetics and RP boosters, so as to not lock anything significant behind a limited event. On that note, the Battle Pass should be made to be far more sensible. I would ditch the charms entirely and replace them with something far more worthwhile. All the spots on the Battle Pass would be filled with something, so if you have the Premium Pass, you're able to get 2 rewards for every level, like on Genshin. Cosmetically, there should be more skins as the series has plenty to offer. Here are some examples. Nemesis could have his remake skin, Burning remake skin, Classic shirtless skin, and perhaps even his Dead by Daylight custom skin. The Tyrant could have skins to change him into the other Tyrants from the series, such as Thanatos, the TO2, and the Tyrant R. As for Jack Baker, why not give him his Swamp Man skin? Main characters could have skins of all their main appearances. For example, Leon could have his RE2 skins, both original and remake, RE4 and RE6 skins, and maybe some of the bonus costumes such as Mafia and Pirate. If this game is going to be about reused assets, then let's use as many as possible, right? Other skins that could be made could be crossovers with other Capcom titles. Imagine Chris dressed like Ryu from Street Fighter, or Jill dressed like Regina from Dino Crisis. The way I see it, the game should be made so that it's either worth paying for, or if they wish to dedicate themselves to a live service format, then there needs to be enough content that will incentivize players to spend money on a free game. One way to potentially increase the player base would be to add this game as a free download with any copy of an RE Engine game. RE2 Remake, RE3 Remake, RE4 Remake, RE7 and RE8. That way it isn't free only if you have RE8. An extremely important change I would also make is host the game on dedicated servers to drastically reduce the issues with the lag and desync. On top of that, anybody who disconnects or quits automatically loses all of their points. And the final major change I would make is the music. Instead of one track with a 7-second loop, there should be 20 tracks, all of them also looped with only 7 seconds worth of music. Don't worry, I'm kidding. To keep the soundtrack fresh and continue the trend of celebrating the franchise, each character should at least have a music theme from either their debut game or their most iconic game. The same goes for creatures. Either that or the music should be customizable so it can be randomized, chosen by the player, or have a set playlist that the player can customize to include the tracks that they like the most. Here are some examples I've taken the time to edit. In conclusion, wasted potential is ultimately what this game will be remembered for. While fans yearn for a remake of Outbreak, as some of the most popular multiplayer modes are co-op campaigns, and Mercenaries as seen in RE5, RE6, Mercs 3D and the Revelations games, Capcom seems insistent on following PvP trends and to turn Resident Evil into a competitive shooter. While I'm not against the concept necessarily, as I have thousands of hours in RE5 versus, I expect Capcom to at least put effort into the game they want to make. It's an insult to the fans and the series itself that a game that was supposed to be a celebration of 25 years of Resident Evil and a thank you to the fans was a half-baked, lazy mess of a game that was paradoxically both rushed and delayed before being abandoned almost immediately. It's a shame that for some players, this game became something special, a place they met friends and shared memories, much like I did back in the heyday of RE5 versus. But now, it's been taken from them. The thank you gift to fans, which no one asked for, but some of us came to truly enjoy, has been taken back, all because it wasn't appreciated enough. And Capcom can say it served its purpose, which, if that purpose was to kick us all right in the dick, then sure, I agree. But this is just a desperate PR ploy, as the game served its purpose about as well as the Titanic served its own purpose. The difference is that the Titanic will continue to be remembered. And Capcom can try to erase this game from online stores and their own website, but the internet never forgets. And I won't forget this insult of a game anytime soon. Although, in its defense, perhaps the biggest insult of all is the fact that this game has been killed off while Umbrella Corps continues to live. no! Ho ho ho!
least I'm getting down like how Leon works. I was not able to make him work before.
Aim gun, shoot.
You don't have to.
Yeah, it's kind of like how
Leon,
most
you have to do
characters work in
recon.
this game. Aim gun, shoot. In the case of Chris, it's become God, aim gun and shoot.
And somehow
Become God, punch, kill,
Yeah.
repeat.
Press Q. Empty
Yeah.
brain. Shoot gun. I hate Chris! Fuck.
Yeah, you.
Alright, I'm getting.
It's like the
ready to
fucking
lose.
character of a lobotomite.
I missed the punch. I'm amazing.
Oh, you just murdered that man. Okay.
Yeah, it's stars.
Is it my turn? Oh.
Yep, your
Ouch.
turn. Maddie!
What? I'm scared.
Oh.
Stay away.
Oh, look, I'm also Nemesis. No, not really. Wouldn't that be funny?
It's more than.
No, please. Please, no.
Hi!
No.
Oh god. The rocket!
Jesus. Oh my god, what's going on?
Fish our friend, not food.
Hunk is giving free circumcisions right now.
Excuse me?
Yes, you're right.
Where can I get one? Where?
Yeah. Of course, the first one I'm gonna be Star Potato.
That didn't take long.
No, it really doesn't.
Please don't tell me this is going to be a tradition. I walk 10 feet and I
I
see
know
an
you've
arrow
done
in
it
my
a few
face.
times.
Man, so this is how
You
it
really
feels on
did
the
this.
other-
Fuck you.
Why is Leon facing the wrong way? What is this game?
Leon's like, I don't know where I am!
And Ada's like, oh, this fucking idiot.
Two Leons, 1 Ada. Damn.
No wonder she's so happy.
Because I think Wesker was in 0.
Fuck. Wait, what?
I'm leaving.
Hold on.
No.
Chris is so stupid.
I mean, I did take damage. Yep, maybe.
I'm literally.
Fucking hell.
I was 1 point below her.
And they pick that character thinking that we're being serious, and then we're in another group chat just saying pick Chris.
Leave me alone.
You're a woman. I'm an old man. Come here.
Leave me alone. You're a married man, Jack.
I don't care.
Yeah, he's married to a Spider Woman and not in the like
Yeah.
Gwen Stacy kind of way, you know?
Well, if we take into account what he did in the story to Marguerite, I'm allowed to punch women. So come here.
Why are you dead yet? I forgot. Oh shit.
Why did I queue again?
Okay,
I pressed it only once.
kind of the. What the fuck was that, Ron?
What? Oh. Damn, man, this lag is actually killing me.
We have POWs fighting and then Leon just throws a fucking kick.
Yeah.
Well, what else am I gonna do?
I thought this would be the Resident Evil 4 village.
Oh, no. Capcom aren't smart enough to do that.
Yeah, why do they think they give Chris sex? Yes.
Chris sex? Yeah, you want to give Chris sex.
6 seconds of vulnerability. Una mujer, no.
Yo creo que yo soy peor en español.
Tradition continues. Howler and Moonhorse. I mean, those are probably, you know, better names. Howler, Moonhorse, Camel Breath, Hosepipe Man. You know, like...
I swear to God.
I love how I didn't rush forward, but rush right into the rush.
Rudge?
Yes.
Rudge? Who the fuck is Rudge?
Oh, would you like to die?
No, not really.
Come back.
Oh shit. No, 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 no!
Come back. Let me eat you.
Hi, Sam.
Way to go, fish brother. Now we fight. No, fuck you.
Now we run.
Now you run.
Hey, careful with the mine. Look careful.
Ah.
I feel like it's.
I feel like that's the sound effect that needs to be applied every time. I'm actually survived that you're not yet set there.
Hello? Just having a stroke.
Yeah, it seems to be.
You literally got me down to 1 HP. But just unlocking. And then Kirby, of course, comes in
Kirby
and finishes me.
You know, I think Guile. Yeah, behind you.
Oi, bitch!
Fuck!
Thank you, Sarko. This moment right
You know
there.
what? That's what I get. That's what I get.
Oh, fucking hell,
Yes.
that was funny. I
You
even
did what you
spun as well to like delay a roll. So like, I was a here bitch and suddenly I've scooped her into the air.
Yeah. Chris fucked over his sister.
Oi, bitch! Crack!
In canon law. How Chris treats his sister.
So amazingly, four of us playing, and we all came first, second, and third.
Yes.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah, what are the chances of that? Oh no, apparently the leaderboard says that me and Maddie came second and Lysandro just came fourth.
There is no place.
Game can't
Right.
math. Game can't math.
No wonder you're going to get married.
Okay, why am I chasing a chicken?
Because he's worth points. Oh!
You know,
Damn
Okay,
it!
I rolled.
Stole my kill.
Capcom game having a bad network, unheard of. Dang, how many fucking cigarettes did you just smoke?
What? Do you
Yeah.
have a Chris disguise or something? I couldn't touch him.
what that was. I don't know.
Hey, Sonny, how are you doing?
Come give your grandma a little kiss.
It doesn't really give you much an advantage because they're only at level 1. So how do you get them to level 2? I think it's tied to your
Yeah.
rank. I think. I'm only guessing because I don't know how it will work.
Yeah, that's the
Level
thing.
one.
Yeah. Unless level beyond level 1 isn't available yet.
So you're speculating that they delayed this game with a skill set that's incomplete.
Mm-hmm.
I hear someone. I have a feeling it's.
How are you shooting me, Sam? I'm invisible.
I can see you, Gavin.
Oh
You're not
no, it's a
invisible.
shotgun. God
I
damn
am
it.
invisible. And the trend continues.
Stop it! Stop, Chris! Chris! Chris!
Oh, whoa!
oh, that's nice. Why can't I punch? There, don't.
I'm fast. Maybe I won't die.
Sparky, you keep moaning when you die.
Well, I moan during other times in life, but you won't get to hear that.
should complete the Evil Dave circle and just rage quit after getting killed.
Oh
3
yeah.
times.
I mean, if you kill me there, I would have rage quit just to fulfill.
Yeah, the only way I would channel Evil Dave is right into a fucking furnace.
Channel even into oncoming traffic.
You know, like that one scene of Negan with the doctor.
No, stop it! Stop it, fishy! Stop it! Stop it!
Food!
No! No!
Fuck you, son!
I'm fishy too! Oh, they're all dead. My friends! My fish friends!
Oh wow. Shooting fish
Fish
in a barrel,
murderer.
literally.
Yeah.
Honestly.
You would actually hear the sound that was in that direction, like the sound would zoom in.
Can't shoot Cassandra, I can't do it. Things happen between like today and the last time I played it.
For fuck's sake!
I can kill everyone else except.
Why is Silent slowly turning Scottish? Am I the only one noticing this?
The fuck's
It's so strange.
How'd you get into the training mode?
Wow, game. Wow. I've been removed from my own room due to
Really?
prolonged period of inactivity.
Really? Wow. A game's like, you know what? You too.
That is incredible.
I tried. I win! What happened?
There's no point.
There is no point.
Hard drive. I just have access to it as far as I know.
Yeah.
No, I wanted to be inside him.
Oh, I'm left.
Did you just say you wanted to be inside him?
No, I want to kill Silent, you fucking
Oh,
corny
right.
bastard.
I can never
To
tell
be
with
honest,
you.
I understood that too.
Yeah.
Gavin's just spinning around.
Yeah, I'm a Beyblade.
Beyblade! He's a dragoon, he's become a dragoon.
Yeah.
I'm stuck inside a prison of my own cringe.
I'm surprised Gavin's in first using using
Using Zarko, like, yeah, amazing.
I almost said I'm surprised Gavin is in first using Sarko. I was literally about to say that.
Blow up! I busted my nut. Under the cover of darkness, Fatso away!
The fuck was that?
What the fuck?
Whoops.
What?
What happened? God damn it. I did nothing.
There we go. But you know, she's come into her, you know, womanhood and embracing who she is and her powers and all of that, and she's finally got to meet her dad after, you know, 16 or 19 years or however long it's supposed to be.
16.
It's a huge. I know you're keeping tally for, you know, totally innocent reasons, scientific purposes only,
Yes.
I'm sure.
Oh, Christ.
But
Exactly.
yeah.
It's like with Ethan.
Yeah, just saying this is going to go onto the internet, hire a lawyer. But anyway, you know, so there's this huge emotional moment, and then so we've got Rose who's pouring her heart out in her facial expressions, and then we get a screen full of Ethan's crotch. Stop chopping up the fitch.
The
Bitch.
The fitch.
Capiche.
I don't know what it is, but leave it alone.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ, what I thought Gavin was saying.
Yeah,
Did
sorry,
you-
I want to
did
make
you
an
just-
announcement.
Did you just do what I think you just did?
Yes, I did. I got so scared I thought you were in that room, so I just shot there. As flinching when there was no one there.
Fucking hell. Lissandro and I having like a Wild West standoff, and then you're just in there shooting a cabinet.
Oh man.
Can a motherfucker pray for 2 seconds?
There you go, I brought you closer to God. He should be low though, so if I can get to him in time. No, my kill, my kill, my kill, my kill, my kill!
Oh, a guy right behind me.
Yeah, I'm sure you want to do a close range attack to Fat Mulder.
Yeah. I'm ballsy.
And then when it explodes, it kills you too.
Yeah. I said I'm ballsy, I didn't say I was smart. Uh-oh.
Hi.
People, by the end screen looks like there will be.
I'm a super
Stop
tyrant,
it!
I'm almost dead, and Maddie's
Stop it!
turned into a super
Get
tyrant and is now chasing me.
Stop it! Get back in!
No!
You're so fast for no reason. What the hell?
It's not that I'm fast, we run the same speed, but I'm ahead of you, Maddie, so you'll never catch me.
It doesn't make fucking sense. No, what the hell?
No! History over the last 200 years, it's basically been a case of they had a monarchy, then...
I'm still alive.
Yeah.
Are you dying?
For about 5 more seconds.
I'm fine.
Fucking of course, Chris. Invincible Chris.
Chris, Invincible Chris. Why are you taking the fucking piss?
I don't understand why Nemesis. Nemesis. When you said that, then I didn't look in front of me. Oh,
Wait, where are you? I can't see you. I actually can't see you. Yeah, that is
Well,
why I
you
call
know.
him a himbo.
Yeah, his tits grew, something else shrunk.
Right?
Fierce favorite.
I was
weapon.
thinking of an organ, but it wasn't that one because I don't think Brain had much Chris. I don't think Chris had much.
Yeah,
Oh, what
nice
the
English. English, you good.
It's fine, so long as all the words are the right ones. They really need to be in the right order.
Oh dear, rabbit, good question. I'm retarded.
Fucking Chris! Ah!
So I'm playing the part of.
Like here's the difference between us, Lissandro. You're a transphobe because you're a transphobe because you hate trans people. You're a misogynist because you hate trans people, or whatever. I can't. Sorry, I've completely fucked that. Give me a second. I'll get it right in a second. There it is. You're a transphobe, because you hate. Right. You're a transphobe because you hate trans women. No, you're. I can't get this right.
There's a lot of aspects to that, so it's really hard to remember which is the correct one.
No, it's a meme that I saw and it was fucking brilliant and I'm really trying. It's just
I can say it.
my brain is just not working for it at the moment. How the fuck did it go?
Don't go
Well,
immediately
you
for the
have to
capitals because Kirby goes.
Sangi being able was the funniest thing ever.
That fucking Ada player's problem was it's like he tunneled me at the start for a bit. And it's like, but he kept killing me.
Is.
Yeah, it felt like that. It was like, why are you tunneling me? I've not even got a kill streak or anything. I've got a death streak. You can't take that from me.
Yeah, when I was asked to change.
Hi. I'm surprised nobody, like, I'm surprised. I'm not surprised. Nobody plays the game in order to mod it. But I'm surprised
Finally, no more
like, there was no mod for Jack Baker
is
giving him, like, a fucking MAGA hat or something, because...
Oh, I need Jack Baker in a thong. Not for my own personal purposes, but just because I wanna see
You
that.
just dig me.
Damn.
Oh!
I just sniped that down the hallway.
Yeah, I saw that in slow motion.
It's like, I'm gonna disrespect you. I'm gonna play T-Hawk.
Thank you, Gavin.
Well, Sandra's running around with that shotgun like he's Grief for Jesus with fucking railgun in GTA Online.
I think upon my main.
Yeah, it's like, oh, it's like, with Sandra here with a shotgun, that means he can bite you. Bite!
He can bite you with a shotgun.
Yes! I don't use the shotgun, I just bite you.
The shotgun is actually a mouth. And it just
Yeah. Please don't bite me.
What was that? What was that? What was that?
I don't know.
What was that?
Don't
What was
about
that?
it.
Bang!
Now you're flying. It's up there. What the fuck did she grab onto? There's nothing up there.
I know, yeah. She just shoots into the air and...
Another tie.
Another tie.
Wow.
Just a plane going past.
What?
What? A plane go... Oh, yeah. I'm talking about the grappling hook
Right.
glider.
It's just like,
Yeah.
oh, that's another tie. Yeah, there's a plane going past. What?
Two different conversations. With two different people.
I didn't hear you say that. Sorry.
What the fuck?
Yeah, there's bread in my shoe cupboard.
As stated previously, there's only 3 maps in the entire game. That's the Raccoon City Police Department from the remakes of Resident Evil 2. The fucking bleh. His main skills are a powerful roundhouse kick to stun creatures and knock players back, along with the ability to rapid-fire dual-wielded pistols? The fuck is a pistol? Okay. The Resident Evil series would need to wait another 5 years before the next online entry would be released in 2009. Resident Evil 5. Resident Evil 5... Resident Evil 5, being a mainline game, features a full campaign that can be played in co-op. In March of the same year, Operation Raccoon City was released as an... Revelations 2, released in 2015, featured the return. Resident Evil Village is set to release in May of the same year when the official Resident Evil YouTube channel drops this teaser trailer for the upcoming An extra map, 5 new characters, and 1 new creature were released throughout This game does have its positives, and I have every intention of being fair and pointing those out in this video, so I will be using those to balance out my criticisms about as well as the game itself appears to be balanced. Let's try that again, shall we? That sounded a bit drunk. All that said, the creatures are indeed fun to play, as considering their varied gameplay and designs, more so with the alternate skins are added into the mix. That was terrible. This mechanic also means that characters such as Ada and Umber Eyes have a massive advantage with their main power weapons, which is Tundra is best described as a glass cannon, as her main ability, the Killer Bee Shot, can absolutely wreck bows. Of course, that's assuming it hits at all. Half the time it misses, especially on stairs, and the rest of the time, Creatures should work as a comeback mechanic, hence why their points are halved. But this doesn't work if you're playing as a growing... Creatures should work as a comeback mechanic, hence why their points are... Creatures should work as a comeback mechanic, hence why their points are halved. But this doesn't work if you're playing as a groaning... October 27th, 2022, the game is finally released after a delay of half a year. Dedicated server... And as a live service game, there could be special events where a certain objective must be completed within a time frame for special rewards, which would only be in the... And as a live service game, there could be special events where certain objective... And as a live service game, there could be a special... As it almost gives off John Wick vibes to me. The actual gameplay music...